Good Friday. And I mean that literally because it's Good Friday. So I just changed a bunch of field cultivator teeth on that to get that ready. I got it hooked to the 8295 because I think I told Barb instead of hooking to the chisel plow, I think I'm going to try that again this year like we did on Scotty's farm last year, where we just sunk it in the ground like 5-6 inches and then, you know, did a second pass with it to smooth things out after we picked stones. That corn yielded really good and it didn't affect getting the anhydrous on, so I'm going to try it. It depends on if we turn off dry and the ground gets hard. It probably ain't gonna work so good, probably gonna have to chisel, but anyways, they're supposed to be coming this afternoon with chisel plow points, with a bunch of those teeth, all my filters, so next week I can start servicing tractors. Maybe tomorrow, I don't know, we'll see. Sunday's Easter, so no, because you know, we're spending Easter with my 92-year-old mother, her 92-year-old mother, so I'd probably get in trouble if I did anything on Sunday. But so Barb was out here for a few hours. We were playing equipment Tetris. Yeah, that's hard to say. My brother Doug's supposed to stop either tonight on his way home from work or tomorrow morning. We're gonna get the duals on the planter tractor, get hooked to this so I can get this moved. And move some little shit over here, the other side of the gator, but then I'll be ready for all the seed, because as you know, the last 2-3 years, if you go back to those videos, this is where all the big black seed boxes that go on the seed tender get parked here in 2 rows. So seed tender works, or the motor's charged now, the battery's charged. Move that over, because I don't need it out yet, so there's no sense, but I needed to move it over so that we could put the grain head and the corn head in here as tight as we could against the wall here, so it's out of the way. It doesn't affect anything getting in and out of this door. So that's where those 2 things will sit until fall. And hydrous applicators down there. All the tractors are lined up out there. Got the sprayer out there. It's been a busy morning. So I fueled that tractor up before I change the points on it and whatnot. I think I'm going to fill up everything. I'm not saying it'll drain my tank, but I had quite a bit of fuel left, but that just took 137 gallons because it's got a 180-gallon tank on it. So yeah, and then once we do get started, after about 2 days, it'll need filling again. So yeah, for you non-farmers, you know, I don't know what the price of fuel is right now. I'm hoping it's under $3 for off-road fuel. That's what they said. But you do the math. It ain't a cheap sport to run those things. So, but we'll be all right, because I saw on Millennial Farmer, I don't watch him a lot, but I watch some, but he did a thing about Trump's tariffs and whatnot. And he got the same kind of reaction that I did from the haters, you know. And 2 of the comments that I took from there that I really thought were interesting was, the one person says, "Oh, don't worry about these farmers. We can get our food from other countries." Yep, okay. Glad you think that, because there's countries that still use DDT, but whatever. And one of the other ones was, "Oh, don't worry about them farmers, because 20% of their income every year is from government subsidies." I gotta go find where my 20% of my income from my government subsidies are. I think I've lost them the last, I don't know, 6 years or something. Yes, we got something back during Trump's first term. 2018, don't quote me, I'm thinking, look it up if you want. I don't even remember how much it was. It had to do with the whole China thing. And then China got on board for the phase 1 and started buying grain again, and things were looking good. And then, of course, you know, they threw the old pandemic at Trump and everything else that we know happened in 2020. And then Pudding Brain became president. And we actually enjoyed good prices for like the first year and a half, maybe 2 years of Biden. And then China basically said, "Hey, you know what? This fucking Pudding Brain ain't going to hold us to this trade agreement. So fuck it. We ain't going to buy their shit anymore." And prices went in the tank. And yes, right now they're handing out that $10 billion, whatever they call it, to farmers, $41 per acre for corn, $29 per acre. Don't quote me, you can look it up yourself. I think it was for beans. And they passed that back in December after Trump won. Imagine that. Congress decided to do something after Trump won. Didn't do much during, while Biden was president, but good Republicans in Congress too. So don't ever tell me that I'm one way, because I hate the fucking 90% of the Republicans that are a piece of shit too. So it's just 100% of your Democrats are a piece of shit, unfortunately. So, and they passed it at the same time that they passed whatever it was, 50, 100 billion to go towards the hurricane victims, because nothing happened under Biden. But Trump got elected, and all of a sudden FEMA, when Trump took over, started moving in down there in eastern Tennessee and North Carolina and getting shit done. Imagine that. But anyways, I just wanted to piss the haters off so that they'll come back into the next video and start bitching. But so anyways, I'm waiting for my parts, my filters, my brother. Barb's going to, this is the second to last track meet for Chelsea for Lemoyne College. I think next week is their last one. And today's meet this afternoon is in Buffalo. I don't know if it's Buffalo State or what it is, but Barb will be leaving shortly to go to that track meet. I can't because, like I said, I got parts and shit coming, and I don't know if Doug's coming this afternoon. But yeah, so that's where we are. We're getting there. We're making progress. So I'm going to say this too. Well, first off, my road parts guy just texted me, said he's on his way, leaving Auburn, the dealership, so half hour he'll be here. But the whole subsidy thing, okay, I'm not telling everybody, like I've said before, I don't ask you your finances and your business. I tell you the price of fuel when I know it, what my fertilizer costs. The anhydrous was excuse me, $645 a ton. I told you that because all you Trump haters, the tariffs, you're going to be paid double for that. Yeah, okay, whatever. Paid basically the same price as last year. But you get the haters like, Joey Volk, longtime hater, who on the last video, how'd he put it? Corporations were going to be coming into our farms this coming fall and buying up all the land because we were all going to be broke because of the tariffs. I took a drink real quick before I turned this on. I think I swallowed down the wrong pipe. But anyways, yeah, you ever do that? It sucks. So anyways, back to that bullshit. And the person who, 20% of your income and all that. So I'll give you this. For a farm my size, okay, I've never, I don't like telling people how many acres you got and all this, but I always put it in blocks of 500s. 0 to 500, 500 to 1,000, 1,000 to 1,500, 1,500 to the blah, 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 Because that's usually how they do it on, like, agriculture surveys and all that. So I'm in the 500 to 1,000. We'll leave it at that. My government subsidy that I just got was, we'll just say it was under $20,000. Now, some people are going to say, holy shit, you got $20,000 from the government. Yeah, well, that's the first actual subsidy, even though I'm accused of getting, I had the one guy a year or two ago trying to convince people in my comments that I was getting $1 million a year. Yeah, I told him, after 10 years of getting that, I'd be on an island somewhere. I got news for you, but whatever. So if that's the first I've seen since 2018, other than we all saw the COVID bullshit, remember that, I don't even remember, what was it, $1,200 check here, $600 check here, $2,400, whatever it was that they sent to everybody with the COVID bullshit. But, so that's, in the last 7 years, less than $20,000. Okay, for those of you who think that sounds like a lot, I'm sorry. But, the USDA under Biden last fall, well, pretty much all of last year of 2024, said record yield for corn. Then we harvested, and they said 183 bushels, record yield, first time in history over 180 bushel, blah, blah, blah. Prices sucked. Then they had to come out a month or two ago and go, oops, we were wrong. It was only 179. Still a good yield, but for you non-farmers who are going, well, that's only 4 bushel less. That's 4 bushel less on 90 million, whatever it was we planted last year, 91 million acres of corn. Just call it 90 million for round numbers. You do the math. 4 times 90 million. That's a lot of fucking bushels that they claimed we had in storage that was never there. Then prices finally started to inch up. And old Joey Volk in my last video, he mentioned, well, it's all about supply and demand. Yeah, so we got fucked on the whole supply and demand thing from the government, from the USDA, Biden's USDA. Yep, telling the world that we had 4 bushels more on that 90 million acres of corn than what we really had to suppress the prices. So you know what I think of this? This $10 billion thing that they're giving farmers and whatnot, they fucking owe it to us for how they fucked us. So I know that'll piss off some of the haters. Oh, you think they owe you something? No, I wish government would get out of agriculture completely. I wish government would get out of a lot of things completely. Let the chips fall where they may. Let supply and demand actually work the way it's supposed to, rather than government fucking us with their bullshit stories that don't end up being true. So let's hope this new USDA under Trump isn't as bad as the last one that we had for the past fucking 4 years. I'm on a roll, so I'm just going to keep going. I mean, like you people that work 9 to 5, phew. You can predict in January what you're going to make for the year because you know what your salary is. You may not be able to predict how much money you're going to have at the end of the year because you don't know if your car's going to break down, your TV takes a shit, you need a new TV, your refrigerator, you know what I mean. We as farmers, in January, the government says the farmers are going to plant a record crop. And it suppresses the prices. I'd love to be able to say right now on April 18th, let's see, which way's the wind blowing? Oh, what's the weather look like? I think I'm going to have 185 bushel corn. I don't fucking know what the weather's going to do 3 weeks from now, a month from now, 2 months from now, in crucial time when the corn is pollinating and stuff like that. But the government can come out in fucking January and say, we're going to produce a record crop, suppress the price all year, and then come out 12 to 14 months later and go, oops, we were wrong, sorry. You know, so actually the last few months we've enjoyed a little better prices because of their fuck up. And I'm hoping the tariffs make prices even better, contrary to what Joey Volk and the rest of the Trump derangement syndrome people think. But just stop and think about that when you know, you're fucking hating on farmers that get subsidies. I realize there's lots of farmers out there that figure out every fucking grant they can get for this, that, and the next thing. I remember the millennial farmer talking about a grant for his grain dryer. I don't know if that's just something specific for Minnesota. I've never heard about any kind of grants for grain dryer. I bought that in 2012. It cost me $70,000 of my money. So I don't know. I know, like I said, I know there's farmers that know how to. There's farmers who know how to play the insurance game. I wish they'd do away with crop insurance completely. Because, yes, crop insurance is subsidized by the government. Because if it wasn't, we wouldn't be able to afford crop insurance. Guys that are paying for the big coverage, like the, you know, between 80 and 100%, or 80 and 90, 95%, some of these guys are paying $40, $50, $60 an acre. That's with the fucking subsidy. If the subsidy wasn't on there, they'd be paying triple that. No farmer's going to pay $150 an acre for fucking insurance if that's what it costs. But farmers will play the insurance game. It's like right now they're predicting 95 million acres of corn this year. Corn's going to be up some because there's farmers who have done the math that if they pay for this high revenue insurance, because it's not just disaster, the insurance now you can get revenue too. So if the price drops to a certain level, you're guaranteed a certain price, blah, blah, blah. I don't even fucking understand it because all I have is the basic insurance. So if I can't plant, I want to get prevent plant. It's the only thing I've ever collected on in my entire life. In 2019, I got a check for like $16,000 for I don't even remember, X amount of acres that I never got planted because it was the wettest fucking year I've ever seen in my life of farming. But there's farmers that know they can break even or even make a few bucks playing the insurance game. I think it's bullshit, but hey, whatever. I'm with you guys that want to get rid of all the subsidies, especially the insurance subsidy. Let it be what it'll be, because you know what? The next time we have a 2012, you know, the severe drought of 2012 when the national corn yield was like 124 or 126 or whatever the fuck it was, all the Joey Volks of the world, all the farm haters of the world, you will find out what it's like to get your food from another country, because there are going to be a lot of guys that will be out of business. Production will, you know, without the insurance and all that. Hey, I'm just saying, I'm with you on some of this. Alrighty, just had about a 20-minute bullshit session with the parts guy. Here's my, I don't know what you want to call it, invoice. Invoice, yes, that's what it's called, invoice. If I could get the damn papers to freaking turn. But yeah, there's $5,100 worth of well, there's a whole bunch of them field cultivator sweeps. We just slid the box off into the back of the gator, because I'll just start doing it out of the gator. Bunch of filters, bunch of planter parts. Yes, Kinsey and Deere are very similar, so you can get a lot of the same wear parts, I guess you could call it, and springs and whatnot. So I got them through Deere because, well, I got them through O'Hara's because I get my discount for everything. So I got all my filters and all this stuff and all the planter parts, which when you look at it, that's not a lot of stuff sitting in the back of the gator right now, or over here for $5,100. But it is what it is. But for you, you know, haters that are going to say, oh, it's because of the tariffs. I'll bet you those things there are double what they were because of the steel tariffs and all that. Guess what? They were actually cheaper this year. Yeah, most of the wear part stuff was actually either the same price or a little cheaper. So I don't know what to tell you. Tariffs are going to kill us. But I love how the haters want to tell me how much money I'm losing, how much things are going to cost me when I actually see it, you know, right in front of my own eyes. Hey, that makes you kind of like the USDA. You can predict what's going to happen to us farmers. Like I've said before, we're the only industry in the world that buys retail, sells wholesale, pays the trucking both ways, because somebody else tells us what we're going to pay for something and tells us what we're going to get for what we're selling. So, all right, so it's almost 3 o'clock. Haven't heard anything from my brother yet, whether he's going to stop after work. So we do them duels tonight or tomorrow. Trying to decide, do I want to jump in that and start going around fields, because I haven't pushed back brush yet. And you know there's going to be ash trees down like usual because of the ash borer. The last few years have been horrible. Or do I want to start getting tractors up here and going through all those filters and start servicing? My back hurts. So I'm thinking I'm going to get in that tractor. It all has got to be done. So I think I'm going to get in that tractor right now while it's fairly dry, because we're supposed to get rain later tonight and tomorrow, and start going around fields. And next week, maybe tomorrow, maybe Saturday, I don't know. Next week, definitely start doing servicing of tractors. So I went with the pushing back brush option. Here we go, first of the year. First for the spring. I don't believe it, not for a minute. You're under the gun, so you take it on the ride. Yeah, I know, I suck. But it's REO, so I really don't care. That one's hanging over. Say goodbye.
reminder why we go around fields. Yeah. The good old ash trees that are dying like a son of a bitch because of the ash borer. So, this is one that fell since last fall. For those of you who were around for last fall's videos, you saw where we had to go around a few along the edges of fields that had falling during the summer. So, but yeah, this is why we have to go around fields. I mean, I go around them every year, but the last 2 or 3 has been exceptionally horrible because of the ash trees dying. And the sad part is, we used to get pretty good money for them when we logged, selling ash trees, but now you ain't gonna get shit for them because they're just dying. They ain't worth nothing. And I'll say this, that headland right there is usually wet, pretty damn dry. I mean, I didn't even cut a track going through there. For April 18th, I think we're fairly dry. I haven't found any spots yet that would normally, I would think would be wet right now. They're not. So, did that make any sense? I don't know. But, so I guess when the weather gets good enough to be able to go, so, which basically means right now, we get past all these, you know, waking up in the morning to frost like we did this morning, then we'll probably get going. So, will it be in April? I don't know. We'll see. But we're drier than what I thought we would be. You can see where I went around a whole bunch of corn here. Unfortunately, all along this edge of this field is nothing but ash trees, and they just keep falling. These were all the ones that fell last fall. You can see ones that I pushed off in the last couple of years. Just pushed some more off in these 2 spots. Oh, it's a nightmare, and it's gonna keep happening. So hopefully you can hear me good because I opened the door, but this field down here along the edge of this big swamp, you know, where the geese, luckily this past year, only ate this much worth of beans instead of half of the field like a few years ago. But check out the beaver work. Not sure where they're, you know, wanting to make a dam, but apparently the beavers don't like that clump of trees right there. They want to get rid of them. Kind of interesting. And I don't know how well you can see them. I'm zoomed in as far as I can go. But there's 1, 2, 3, looks like 4 white deer up there on the side hill. At least 4. I can't zoom the GoPro any farther, so I'm sorry. Oh, wait, might be 5. There they go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 white deer and 2 brown deer, which you probably didn't see. Maybe there was 6 white deer. I don't know. Unzooming you. So I don't know if you can hear. It's raining. Quite hard. It's about, what is it? 10 o'clock Saturday morning. So hour and a half or so ago, my brother was down here. We got the duals on the planting tractor, so that's ready. So now I can get it hooked onto the planter and get it out. Start changing all that shit that needs to be changed and whatnot. So I'm just gonna end this video. Push on the Grumpy Farmer Apparel link. Get your Grumpy Farmer Apparel. Your one more thing is Ian has left us apparently. Yeah, he, you know, Ian's the one a couple videos ago I mentioned about how he wanted his money back now. Apparently he got mad at me for mentioning that. Dude, you left the comment on a public forum for anyone and everyone to see. So, whatever. I mean, oh, and don't forget, Friday the 25th, 7 p.m. Eastern. It's the next live stream. So I'm actually going to have a third person on that one. Somebody that wants to join us because he has some things to get off his chest, he said. So stay tuned.